¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Ooh, sorry about that, folks. Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday morning. Howdy, everybody. Sorry about that. I'm still getting myself a little bit situated here. And today, we are going to continue our journey. We're going to continue our journey through the IPCC report. We're going to see how far we can get today. Awesome that I feel lucky since last night I survived the fire in my apartment building. Jesus, Maple Leaf Dragon. Holy yikes. Well, at least you're okay. Jesus. Did the fire was in your apartment or just in another section of the building? Or rather, did the fire reach your building? Like your apartment in particular? Jeez. Wow, across the hall? Jeez. Yikes. My apartment, no real damages. Theirs are totally gutted. Holy yikes. Jeez. That is... That is not a fun experience. That is not a fun experience at all. Do you know what started the fire, or was it like an accident? The other tenant got out unharmed. Well, that's good. That's very good. What? She said she woke up to her bed being on fire? Jesus. Wow. What a scary thought, you know? Just sleep and then all of a sudden you wake up to fire. Holy yikes. That is unbelievable. Glad she made it out, but also glad she won't be back. Oof. She was the building's black sheep. Oh boy. Well, I will say this. A lot of like these owners, these landlords for these big buildings or apartment buildings and or apartment complexes oftentimes are very cheap, to say the least, and will neglect or overlook very important maintenance. So who knows what could have started that fire? Maybe, I don't know, bad electric outlet or something. Spontaneous. Oh, she definitely started it? Oh, lordy. Oof. Oof. Probably smoking in bed. Oh boy. Yikes. Yeah. That will do it. That will do it. Oh, okay. She was mentally unstable and not taking her meds regularly. Was it because, like, She didn't want to or forgot, or is nobody like assisting? That's unfortunate.
And in the end, to sum it up, today,
House has to. House has.
Speaker Pelosi heading up to the podium.
Probably all of the above. When she's off, she meant she's a total nightmare. Her boyfriend was not the supportive type either. Yikes. Not good. Not good at all. That's messed up. That's messed up.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Madam Ambassador, who is with us this morning. Madam Ambassador.
Apparently, we are in the middle.
Ambassador Makarova.
Apparently, we're in the middle of the Ukrainian president addressing Congress. I didn't know they were going to do it at this time. But hey, at least we'll be able to catch some of it, I think.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. Slava Ukraina! Slava Ukraina.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was giga cringe. Jesus Christ.
My colleagues, Slava Ukraina! Slava Ukraina!
Okay. All right.
Glory to heroes. Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, members of the Congress, ladies and gentlemen, Americans, friends, I'm proud to greet you from Ukraine, from our capital city of Kyiv, a city that is under missile and airstrikes from Russian troops every day, but it doesn't give up. And we have
messed
not
up his
even
name
thought
too.
about it for a second. Just like many other cities and communities in our beautiful country, which found themselves in the worst war since World War II. I have the honor to greet you on behalf of the Ukrainian people, brave and freedom-loving people who for 8 years have been resisting the Russian aggression. Those who give their best sons and daughters to stop this full-scale Russian invasion. Right now, the destiny of our country is being decided. The destiny of our people, whether Ukrainians will be free, whether they will be able to preserve their democracy. Russia has attacked not just us, not just our land, not just our cities. It went on a brutal offensive against our values, basic human values. It threw tanks and planes against our freedom, against our right to live freely in our own country, choosing our own future, against our desire for happiness, against our national dreams, just like the same dreams you have, you Americans, just like anyone else in the United States. I remember your national memorial in Rushmore, the faces of your prominent presidents, those who laid the foundation of the United States of America as it is today, democracy,
Oh, boy.
independence, freedom, and care for everyone, for every person, for everyone who works diligently, who lives honestly, who respects the law. We in Ukraine want the same for our people. All that is normal part of your own life.
I like how Zelensky is sticking with the dressed down look and doesn't feel like he needs to be dressed like a professional. Yeah, true. I mean, like, he probably is past that at this point. Given the circumstances, I think he's past that, maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends,
Maybe we
Americans,
should all be like
in
that,
your
yeah?
great history, you have pages that would allow you to understand Ukrainians. Understand us now, when you need it right now, when we need you right now. Remember Pearl Harbor.
Uh-oh.
Terrible morning of December 7, 1941, when your sky was black from
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm losing, like, his point here.
the planes attacking you. Just remember it. Remember September the 11th, a
Oh,
terrible
no.
day in 2001 when evil tried to turn your city, independent territory.
Okay.
In battlefields, when innocent people were attacked from air. Yes, just like no one else expected it. You could not stop it. Our country experiences the same every day, right now, at this moment, every night, for 3 weeks now. Various Ukrainian cities, Odessa and Kharkiv, Chernihiv and Sumy, Zhytomyr and Lviv, Mariupol and Dnipro. Russia has turned the Ukrainian sky into a source of death for
Mariupol
thousands
is,
of
like,
people.
leveled.
Russian troops have already fired nearly 1,000 missiles at Ukraine, countless bombs. They use drones to kill us with precision. This is a terror that Europe has not seen for 80 years, and we are asking for a reply, for an answer to this terror from the whole world. Is this a lot to ask for, to create a no-fly zone?
Yes, it is, actually. My friend, my buddy, my dude. What you are asking for is paving the path for a conflict that will make WW2 look like a day at the beach. Imposing a no-fly zone will not. I don't. First of all, I don't believe it'll achieve the strategic goal that you think it will, and it is all but guaranteeing that we get ourselves involved into this conflict directly, and that just cannot happen. There's just no scenario where two nuclear superpowers get into direct conflict. There's just no scenario where that can happen. Imposing a no-fly zone can potentially pave the path for that to happen. And no.
Zone over Ukraine to save people. Is this too much to ask? Humanitarian no-fly zone, something that that Russia would not be able to terrorize our free cities. If this is too much to ask,
It is.
we offer an alternative. You know what kind of defense systems we need, S-300 and other similar systems. You know how much depends on the battlefield.
That's fine. We can provide aid in other manners that don't risk. That is that is much more reasonable. That is much more reasonable to ask for the continued aid than establishing something that would all but guarantee our involvement. Besides, A, Ukraine is not in NATO. B, NATO's responsibilities are to its allies as a, again, this is on paper, as a defensive alliance, not an offensive alliance where they get involved. It's the opposite. They're a reaction to should something happen. It is a defensive strategic alliance, apparently, allegedly, on paper. That's what it's supposed to be. That's right, a no-fly zone gets all of NATO involved in instant world war. Correct.
On the ability to use aircraft, powerful, strong aviation to protect our people, our freedom, our land, aircraft that can help Ukraine, help Europe.
Sure,
And
we can try to do that, but the logistics on this has been a nightmare, to say the least. To try to get, like, actual physical aircraft has been a nightmare because, well, how? Who flies those aircrafts? How do you plan to get said aircraft? Are you going to drag them in with a truck? With trailers? Because those are sitting ducks there. You're going to fly them in? From where? And who is going to fly them in? And to be fair, America doesn't care about the difference between offense and defense, true. But America's not the only player in NATO, although we are kind of like the big one, though.
They exist and you have them, but they are on Earth, not in Ukraine, in the Ukrainian sky.
What?
They do not defend our people. I have a dream. These words are known to each of you. Today I can say,
I'm sorry, this translator, like, is confusing me. Like, no offense, but Jesus, I'm confused.
I have a need. I need to protect our sky. I need your decision, your help, which means exactly the same you feel when you hear the words, I have a dream. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, Ukraine is grateful to the United States for its overwhelming support, for everything that your government and your people have done for us, for weapons and ammunition, for training, for finances, for leadership in the free world, which helps us to pressure the aggressor economically. I'm grateful to President Biden for his personal involvement, for his sincere commitment to the defense of Ukraine and democracy all over the world. I am grateful to you for the resolution which recognizes all those who commit crimes against Ukraine, against the Ukrainian people as war criminals. However, now, it is true, in the darkest time for our country, for the whole Europe, I call on you to do more. New packages of sanctions are needed constantly,
What more
every week,
sanctions?
until the Russian military machine.
What do you want us to do? What sanctions do you want us to impose that will make this stop? What sanctions do you want us to impose that will make this stop? Because apparently, being one of the most harshest sanctions that we've ever done and one of the most united fronts that we've ever had in terms of, like, allies closing ranks, that hasn't happened in a very, very long time. It has been borderline unanimous. What do you want us to do that will make this stop? The sanctions were one of the heaviest sanctions that we've done, period. And it's not working. It didn't stop. It didn't make them reel back. It didn't make them retreat. They are still there, and they're still going. Dr. Dragon Rider resubscribing with a tier 1 for 9 months. I appreciate that. Good morning. I needed that sweet, soothing ASMR news source that is Carlos, the master of a difficult truth. True. No truer statement has been said. Many people have said that nobody does the ASMR news like I do. Okay? Nobody. Sir! Sir! Oh my god. That's funny. We gotta be able to laugh. Jesus, this is so dark.
Regime stops. Restrictions are needed for everyone on whom this unjust regime is based. We propose that the United States sanctions all politicians in the Russian Federation who remain in their offices and do not
Wait, didn't we already sanction all the is it called the Duma? Didn't we already sanction all the Duma members who voted in favor of this? I could have sworn I read that we actually sanctioned all the Duma members that voted for this. I'm pretty sure. We sanctioned the president himself, Putin, the foreign minister, I think, all the oligarchs that were involved. I believe we also sanctioned the folks who voted in favor as well. I saw we did the oligarchs, but I'm not caught up. I'm pretty sure I've read that somewhere. You know what? Why don't we take like 5 seconds before we start, spewing fake news. Sanctions on Duma members. Okay, I see. Today, the U.S. Department of Treasury's Foreign Asset Control issued a new round of sanctions targeting Russian and Kremlin elites, oligarchs, and Russia's political and national security leaders who have supported Russian President Vladimir Putin's brutal and illegal invasion of Ukraine. Today's actions include designated regime elites and business executives who are associates and facilitators of the Russian regime, including 3 immediate family members of Putin's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, Russian tycoon Viktor Vekselberg, and the management board of the sanctioned VTB bank. Additionally, OFAC designated 12 members of the Russian Duma, including Vyacheslav Viktorovich Volodin, who is also a permanent member of Russia's Security Council. Yeah, so they did sanction 12 Duma members. I don't totally blame Zelensky for asking all this. He's literally boxed in. Yeah, I understand. Like, you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is here? It sounds desperate. Which it is. The situation on the ground is desperate. But the situation on the ground is desperate. But you know what that tells me? That tells me things aren't going as well as they're trying to front, and that's very, 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 very sad. That is very sad. All the U.S. investment are proof they just became as poor as their constituents. I don't know about that necessarily, but certainly they can't operate like out in the open. From what I understand, I know I read this somewhere. I have like a bootlegged photographic memory. Somewhere that they have been preparing for this for quite some time, and I think they have investments in like cryptocurrency and all this other stuff. It's when you have that kind of money, you have ways of like stashing a good chunk of it in case things like this happen. Full disclosure, I'm part Ukrainian. Wow. The situation on the ground is not good. That's what this tells me. That's what this tells me. Because he's asking for all of this, which pretty much is like, it's I don't want to say non-starter, but it's like all but like impossible, I guess. It just feels like maybe the situation isn't going as well. And Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I heard Putin is the richest man in the world and mostly offshore, but I don't know about the Duma people. Yeah, that's a. I've heard something like that too. I'm just not sure just how rich Putin is. I mean, I would expect, or it wouldn't surprise me if he's already like prepared alternatives to access some, at least enough of a chunk of his wealth. In hidden assets. Yeah, it has been reported that Putin gets all the oligarchs are hiding his assets. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's like stash assets, um, that can be accessed in a situation like this. Because I mean, when you have this much money, you have enough money to invest in a alternative system or methods of making sure that you can access some of it. Spread it forward, how's it going? Estimated to have 80 to 200 billion and not in stocks. Yeah, I bet. Jesus. Must be nice. The only difference between this and Iraq is that the whole world, not just NATO, but also nukes. Oh no, this is a whole other dynamic. We're looking at a completely different dynamic. Yeah. How's it going? Spread it forward. Howdy, howdy. Which is really depressing to hear because, like, man, it sounds like the situation on the ground is more dire than what it seems.
Cut ties with those who are responsible for the aggression against Ukraine, from state Dumas members to the last official who has lack of morale to break the state terror. All American company must leave Russia from their market, leave their market immediately because it is flooded with our blood. Ladies and gentlemen,
A lot of companies have already, especially like very big ones too. Very, very big multinational corporations have left Russia, up to and including, and this is true, McDonald's.
members of Congress, please take the lead. If you have companies in your districts who finance the Russian military machine leaving business in Russia, you should put pressure. I'm asking to make sure that the Russians do not receive a single penny that they use to destroy people in Ukraine. The destruction of our country, the destruction of Europe. All American ports should be closed for Russian goods. Peace is more important than income, and we have to defend this principle in the whole world. We already became part of the anti-war coalition, a big anti-war coalition that unites many countries, dozens of countries, those who reacted in principle to President Putin's decision to invade our country. But we need to move on and do more. We need to create new tools to respond quickly and stop the war, the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, which began on February 24th. And it would be fair if it ended in a day, in 24 hours. That evil would be punished immediately. Today.
Wow, in a week? Next week, it would be a month that this whole thing started. Wow. Yikes.
The world does not have such tools. The war of the past have prompted our predecessors to create institutions that should protect us from war. But they unfortunately don't work. We see it, you see it, so we need new ones, new institutions, new alliances, and we offer them. We propose to create an association, U24, United for Peace, a union of responsible countries that have the strength and consciousness to stop conflicts immediately, provide all the necessary assistance in 24 hours, if necessary, even weapons, if necessary, sanctions, humanitarian support, political support, finances, everything you need to keep the peace and quickly save the world, to save lives. In addition, such association, such union could provide assistance to those who are experiencing natural disasters, man-made disasters, who fell victims to humanitarian crisis.
So is he proposing like an alternative UN kind of like a more beefier UN? I mean, on the surface, it sounds like a good idea. I would just say maybe we should give the UN teeth. We should give the UN the power to like actually do things in terms of like humanitarian crises. Maybe.
or epidemics. Remember how difficult it was for the world to do the simplest thing, just to give vaccines against
Oh
COVID
my
to save
God.
lives, to prevent new strains.
Holy yikes. No, I have not. But that's pretty cringe. If that's the takeaway, that's pretty cringe, Dr. Dragon Rider. It's more like NATO? Huh. Yeah, I don't know about that.
The world spent months, years doing things like that much faster to make sure there are no human losses, no
Yeah,
victims.
that's
Ladies
a
and
great
gentlemen,
point. If you see some of those like weird borderline like, you know, borderline illegal, we're talking like we're talking like borderline we're talking some gray area with legality there, Dr. Dragon Rider. Just yeah, report that please. That is just disgusting. The only country that can turn this around now is China by giving Putin incentive to pull out Ukraine. They have already large economic ties to Russia. Yeah, that would be basically the nail in the coffin, right? At that point. I mean, if you don't have support from the biggest ally, then it's pretty much GG, yeah? I mean, you can't keep going with literally zero allies.
Americans, if such alliance would exist today, that is U24, we would be able to save thousands of lives in our country. In many countries of the world, those who need peace, those who suffer inhumane destruction. I ask you to watch one video of what the Russian troops did in our country, in our land. We have to stop it. We must prevent it, preventively destroy every single aggressor who seeks to subjugate other nations. Please watch the video.
Uh-oh.
By your neighbor. Today, the Ukrainian people are defending not only Ukraine, we are fighting for the values of Europe and the world, sacrificing our lives in the name of the future. That's why today the American people are helping not just Ukraine, but Europe and the world to keep the planet alive, to keep justice in history. Now I'm almost 45 years old. Today my age stopped when the hearts of more than 100 children stopped beating. I see no sense in life if it cannot stop the death. And this is my main mission as the leader of my people, great Ukrainians. And as the leader of my nation, I'm addressing the President Biden. You are the leader of the nation, of your great nation. I wish you to be the leader of the world. Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace. Thank you. Slava Ukraini.
Yeah, it was it was a
Glory
bit
to
there
Ukraine.
were some cringe moments at the beginning there.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky calling on Congress to help his country survive Russia's onslaught. He appealed to the American memory of Pearl Harbor and 9/11 and patriotism and asked directly for a no-fly zone over Ukraine. Now, he also showed a video with the images of the horror of the war that Russia has brought to his Ukrainian people. This is live coverage from the Washington Post. I'm Libby Casey. Rhonda.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it was short. It was pretty short. I saw Nancy Pelosi again clapping while smiling after Zelensky showed the video. Oh my goodness, really? I mean, I just kind of skipped through that because of obvious TOS. I felt like maybe that would be skirting that. That would be skirting that line. Very shrewd to do that part of the speech in Ukrainian and the emotional part of the speech in English. It was a speech for his citizens. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I think that we are doing what we can, and it's just horrifying. The whole situation is horrifying. Wasn't it a speech for the American Congress and therefore us? Well, part of it was, I suspect. How do I whisper you if you didn't post in chat? What? Yeah, I would prefer if you whisper me, but I don't know. Maybe you can just whisper me the copy paste link. No, it was a speech to Congress, not for Congress. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, those are two different things. Gotcha. That's very weird. Nah, being a boomer like me is not the same as not being smart, okay? Oh yeah, this is omega cringe. This is omega cringe. This is like giga levels of cringe. Like, the image itself isn't really TOS, but the underlying message and the underlying kind of vibe is incredibly, incredibly dark. It is incredibly dark. So the undertone is because, like, so how do I describe this? Okay, so the meme is a picture of a woman, but the words, and this is like on memes, so it's not like the image itself isn't really TOS, it's just the underlying message behind it that's very, very dark and disturbing. the meme says, and I assume this is beforehand. It says war is coming, so adopt a Ukrainian before it's too late. To my understanding, you don't adopt adults, that's for sure. You don't adopt adults. Right, the implication, because of obviously the image itself is just like a woman, but the meme is adopt. So the implication is this is some like borderline. Is this like from a white nationalist group? There was another one with a group of younger girls, and people in other chats were talking about, oh my goodness, yikes. Okay, it's from an alt-right group. Yeah, the vibes here. The vibes here are just gross. Because the meme says adopt. So you don't adopt adults. They're talking about children. Yeah. They're talking about children. Because of course they are. I got it. I found it in the the right can't meme. During the Irish War, my family friends hosted really awesome Irish girl. It's a great thing for everyone back in the 90s. Yeah, okay, but that's different. This is some other. This has some other weird, twisted undertones behind it. Because like I said, the meme itself, like the image itself, is not really TOS, but like the message underneath it is, yeah, save the children has a new meaning now. Because they obviously put a attractive woman, an adult. They put an attractive adult with the words adopt Ukrainian before it's too late. Like the clear implications is And I love how it's always these folks who try to make like the argument that like it's the left who's filled with, pedos. It's almost like every time they talk about something, it's really they're them themselves, right? Kind of weird how that when they talk about something, they always mean the other thing. They always mean the opposite. Yeah, so that was a mega cringe. Truly an interesting insight to the mentality of these people. I think whoever sues in this situation should take on the financial burden of raising the child. Oh, you mean about the... Okay, gotcha. I was so confused. Okay, yes. I agree. I agree. All right, folks. Kicking off the regular headlines here. Idaho lawmakers passed a 6-week abortion ban styled after Texas law. Some family members of the fetus can sue a doctor who performs an abortion. A bill that seeks to prevent most abortions from occurring in Idaho has just passed the state legislature and is heading to the governor's desk. This bill is the first in the country to be modeled after the recent law that passed in Texas that bans abortion after 6 weeks before many women know they're pregnant. Idaho's bill prohibits abortion after 6 weeks and allows the father, grandparents, siblings, uncles or aunts of the fetus to sue a medical provider who performs the procedure. But, like, is it even considered a fetus at that point? My God. It's not even, like, within the realm of, like, viability. Sorry, I got ahead of you after making coffee. Nice. Hey, Dacapolion, how's it going? Oh my God. So, like, you can sue a medical provider who performs a procedure of an abortion, but the labeling, the nomenclature, calling it a fetus, is just not correct, because at that point, it's not even viable. Well, not completely. It's in that, like, up in the air stage, right? Like, there are numerous miscarriages and things that could possibly go wrong in this period, in this stage. It's not, like, I wouldn't even consider this a fetus. Why are you calling it a fetus? If you couldn't take it out to live on its own, it's not a life form. Right. If it doesn't have any type of viability or consciousness, then... yeah, it's not a person. Sorry. It's going well. Just left the doctor's office, and finally, after 3 years of fighting, they're treating my ADHD. Nice. Well, congratulations. I'm glad. I'm glad it's going well. Family members can sue for a minimum of $20,000 within 4 years of an abortion. What? Within 4 years of an abortion, while a rapist wouldn't be allowed to sue, their family members could. What? This is actually insane. The State House Representatives passed a bill Monday night, 51-14, almost exclusively along party lines after the State Senate passed a bill earlier this month. This bill makes sure that people of Idaho can stand up for our values and do everything in our power to prevent the wanton destruction of innocent human life. Oh man, the Republican Party, ladies and gentlemen, said State Representative Stephen Harris, a Republican and the bill's sponsor, in a statement following the vote. This is now heading to the Republican Governor Brad Little's desk to await his signature. Little signed a similar fetal heartbeat bill into last year that bans abortions after a fetus. Yeah, you see, like, this is exactly the problem here, because you give these people, a centimeter, and they take, like, the entire mile, and is expected to sign this one as well. There are a few differences between the Idaho bill and the Texas law. Both allow for the exceptions in case of a medical emergency, but the Texas law does not allow for exceptions of exceptions in cases of rape or incest, whereas the Idaho bill does allow for such exceptions. However, women who want an abortion under these exceptions are required to file a police report and show it to the medical provider before the... Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, this is just insane. The Republican Party is insane. They're actually insane. So you're required to file a police report, show it to the medical... And how long exactly does it take to make sure that you get the police report in time, by the way? The Supreme Court needs to smack this down. This is an obvious subversion of Roe. Yeah. Oh yeah, Thandera, and they're being incredibly successful. They're being incredibly successful. They found the working strategy. Which is to capture local and state legislatures and enact their stuff that way. And the one where it goes on the fallopian tubes and will surely kill the mother and the child is also a law somewhere. I think what you're talking about is an ectopic pregnancy, which is, yeah, you're surely dead. That's for sure. If you don't take care of that. They're doing it because of the 6-3 split. Yes. That's right. That's a good point. It's because of the Supreme Court split. Another difference between the two pieces of legislation is that the Idaho bill only allows for certain family members of the fetus to sue the medical provider who performed the abortion, but the Texas law allows almost any private citizen to sue any Texas doctor who performs an abortion, intends to perform an abortion, or helps a woman receive an abortion. This is actually insane. Kim Clark, a senior attorney at Legal Voice, a nonprofit organization advocating for legal rights of women, girls, and LGBTQ people in the Northwest, said that this could lead to women in abusive relationships being further harassed by their partners. Yeah, like imagine, oh my God, imagine if like there was, man, imagine if you were like in a abusive relationship for quite some time and, you end up getting pregnant and now, well, now you're basically being forced to give birth or face a potential lawsuit that could be up to $20,000 should a doctor terminate a pregnancy in its early stages. This is actually insane. Or, as this article makes the argument, as she makes the argument, what if you're a survivor that because of, for obvious reasons, have been or don't want to report or haven't gotten, hasn't summoned the will to report an assault. You actually cannot get an abortion because, well, that would require you reporting and going through the trauma again to get a police report. These people are twisted. What if you're 12 and it's the family member's the one who did it? Well, you're SOL because Republicans don't care. My only question is why? Yeah, that's a very good question. Gee, I wonder why they would be so adamant about this and why they're so kind of weird, wishy-washy when it comes to sexual assault and incest. That's very weird. When women are unable to access abortion care, rates of homicide or harm to other children can skyrocket. A November 2021 study from Tulane University in New Orleans found more pregnant women die by homicide every year than other pregnancy-related causes. Compared to non-pregnant women of the same age, pregnant women were 16% more likely to die by homicide. Chelsea Gauna Lincoln, the Idaho's program's manager for Legal Voice, said she doesn't think lawmakers are trying to prevent unwanted pregnancies, pointing out that Idaho House on Monday also voted down a bill that would allow women to receive 6 months maximum supply of contraceptive prescriptions up to 3 months. Right, so they actually don't really care. They actually don't care. Because, like, if you're shooting down a bill that would allow women to receive at least a 6-month maximum supply of contraceptive prescriptions so that, you know, unwanted pregnancies don't happen, then it's not really about preventing unwanted pregnancies. It's not really about protecting the, quote, sanctity of life. You just want to force women to be birthing pods. You love the idea that you get to control their bodies in this manner. That's where their rocks get off right there. My only question is why? Because they love control. Is it just me, or the stuff that they've been trying to pass literally just attacks on kids and women's healthcare? Yeah, because they can control that. It's all about control. They love it. How can you tell me that you care about women and you care about the sanctity of life when you're literally shooting down bills that would allow women to have 6 months of supplies of contraceptive prescriptions? This isn't about preventing unwanted pregnancies at all. This isn't going to discourage abortions at all. This was never about protecting women. This was never about protecting children. The core of it is always control. Look who came to join us today. Hello. They didn't try to get rid of birth control. They shot it down. They shot it down. The same body voted down a contraception bill that would allow women to get birth control for up to 6 months. They don't really care about preventing unwanted pregnancies. This is about political control. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what it is. They just get off on the idea that they can tell women what to do and force women to be essentially, for all intents and purposes, just simply birthing pods. That's it. That's it. What if it's not used for pregnancy or free prescription? Sorry. Hope you don't live in Idaho. Or maybe these people should be voted out. This is some twisted stuff, folks. This is some really twisted stuff. The fact that even like the Texas one, doesn't even have an exception for rape and incest. The fact that the Texas law doesn't even have an exception for rape and incest is quite telling. It's a massive self-report. I can name like 20 reasons why people use birth control that has nothing to do with pregnancy. Yeah, I mean, this is just lunacy. This is just absolutely complete utter insanity. Kitty? Kitty? The Republican Party, ladies and gentlemen. The cat's chewing on my wires again. Hold on, folks. Listen, Kitty, I love you, but you can't be chewing on my wires, okay? Come on. No. Okay. Alright, folks, let's kick it back. Jesus.
At Facebook,
Whoa.
we're working to improve our platforms and keep our community safe.
Literally nobody cares. Thank you. All right, we're going to have to do some media literacy with this article, but the core issue here is worth talking about. House Dems want Biden to declare a national climate emergency and ban oil drilling on federal lands. True. I think they should. Progressive Dems in the House, which I don't know what that means coming from Fox, but okay. And the House Representatives are reportedly planning to publicly urge President Biden to ban oil drilling on federal lands amid record gas prices and a war in Ukraine that has disrupted oil markets. According to a report from Politico, the Congressional Progressive Caucus is planning to demand that Biden uses executive power to declare climate change an emergency and ban drilling on federal lands. True. Progressive Caucus member Jared Huffman told me calling on Biden to declare a climate emergency is one of the centerpiece actions for the headlines of their EO plan. Political reporter Joshua Siegel tweeted on Tuesday, a draft plan of the plan I saw also calls for Biden to ban oil and gas drilling on public lands and end fossil fuel subsidies. Echo Resto Dragon, how's it going? Howdy, howdy. Siegel added that House Dems will also call on Biden to manufacture more heat pumps to ease the strain on oil and gas markets that have been caused by Russia's war in Ukraine. Some of those heat pumps would be donated to Europe, according to House Progressive Plan. The reported move drew immediate criticism on social media, with many pointing out that the gas prices have surged to record levels, prompting Republicans to call for increased drilling to ease the pump, not less. So, no. You tell companies who have made record profits that it's okay if for a while they take an L. Democrats need to wake up, said Republican Steve and professional clown Danes tweeted, "We must unleash American energy." What does that mean? Do you mean like unleash American energy, like renewables, like create a vast movement to make renewables so that we can decouple ourselves to actually become energy independent and provide a brand new industry that can provide jobs and economic growth? You mean that? Is that what you mean by unleashing American energy? We need to focus on building critical infrastructure and increasing domestic production, not jeopardizing North American energy security. What does that even mean? Manufacturers oppose this attempt to potentially further disrupt domestic energy production and drive up prices. Well, and then explain this to me. Why, if there have been record permits, if there have been record permits issued to these oil companies by the Biden administration, far more than Trump did in his first year, then explain to me why they aren't the ones who are taking advantage of all of these permits that have been given to them. It's almost like they're trying to hold a squeeze to price gouge. So then what exactly is your solution? Do you want to nationalize them? Because that's the only alternative here. Fox News, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, corporate greed. The use of climate emergency also raises constitutional concerns like what? What does that mean? As the nation eases out of COVID emergency restrictions, COVID restrictions imposed 2 years ago by governors, not the federal government. Oh my god, hold on, folks. Right. So here they try to do a little bait and switch, right? They're talking about first of all, a proposal by the Progressive Caucus for the federal government, in other words, the executive, the Biden administration, to basically take further action in order for us to, stop drilling. And here they kind of twist it. They do a little bait and switch by saying by saying governors and local authorities. These two things are not the same. So how does the, quote, climate emergency raise constitutional concerns and then attempt to kind of finagle that by saying something that local governors, state governors and local authorities did, not the federal government? And what constitutional concerns? A lot of vague posting. The White House did not immediately respond for comment from Fox News. The Biden administration has faced intense criticism in recent weeks for refusing to commit to increase oil production in the U.S. as gas prices have surged roughly $1.50 per gallon since he took off in a crisis that has been exacerbated by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Yeah. Also, didn't the oil price per barrel just like tumble? Didn't the price per barrel tumble recently? I don't have to talk smack. I can just look it up. Price of oil. Look at that. Oil prices tumble below 100 and keep falling. This is from Barron's. Let's look at the New York Times. Oil prices fall below $100. CNN, CNBC, Reuters. The price of crude is about 97 to 101, apparently, a barrel. So fancy that. Any climate deniers will start going to Second Amendment solutions on the sane Americans. That would be a constitutional concern. Imagine that, and gas prices are still high. Yeah, riddle me that. Riddle me that. If we have a situation where the president has given record permits to these oil companies and they have not used them, kind of strange. If prices for these barrels of oil have dropped, curious. Then why are the prices at the pump still pretty dang high? Is it because they still haven't caught up to the fall of the oil barrel price? Not sure. Not sure. It's all about the money. True. For the level of sanity and financial stability of the country, nationalize the fossil fuel industry and standardize the price of fuel. Damn. Or nationalize them and convert the ability and convert as much as whatever possible that can. Start moving into a renewable system, because this cannot continue. This cannot continue. The fact that we're so dependent on oil should already raise a lot of questions. Like just from a even if you want to talk about national security and you want to talk about, like, you know, the resilience of our energy grids, the best thing you can do for them is to become renewable in whatever ways, in as much ways as possible, as quickly as possible. Anyways, this is a good meme. This is a good meme. Locally, elderly people are complaining loudly for repairs everywhere when the authority figures and city admin may not prioritize the issues the complainers want. What do you mean by that? ExxonMobil loses appeal to stop climate change probes. Nice. A federal appeals court on Tuesday rejected ExxonMobil's effort to stop Massachusetts and New York from probing whether the oil company lied to investors and the public regarding what it knew about climate change. Yeah, well, it turns out we have a plethora of evidence to suggest that, yeah, they did. And their answer, once finally the, jig is up, their answer was, yes, we did lie, and yes, we did do a lot of, greenwashing and misleading information. But it's our free speech, and what? The Second U.S. Court of Appeals in Manhattan said Exxon could not sue Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey in a federal court because it was pursuing the same case in Massachusetts state courts. It also said Exxon's federal case against New York Attorney General Letitia James was moot after she decided not to appeal a state judge's December 2019 dismissal of her lawsuit against the company following a non-jury trial. Exxon argued that its federal lawsuits should continue because Healey's viewpoint bias violated its constitutional free speech rights under the First Amendment, while James kept defending her office conduct and could choose to sue again. The company has sued Massachusetts and New York in 2016 after receiving subpoenas for documents about its understanding of climate change and communications with shareholders. It was appealing from a March 2018 dismissal of that case. Exxon and its lawyers had no immediate comment. Chloe Gotsis, a spokeswoman for Healey, said her office was looking forward to finally obtaining documents from Exxon and moving their case forward. James said she would be pleased to the court rejected Exxon's baseless attempt to challenge state law enforcement efforts. Exxon has in the last several years faced many lawsuits claiming it tried to boost public sentiment, profit, and its stock price by downplaying how its fossil fuel products affect climate change and how climate regulation affected its business. True. No statement uttered by any human makes me want to punch another human in the face more than Joe Manchin saying, if I can't understand a bill, I can't vote for it. Jesus Christ, and why are you there? He did it again in Texas when it was talking about energy legislation. Jesus. Healey's running for first female governor. I didn't know that. So glad I've not seen those I did that stickers on gas pumps here in Oregon. Yeah, I've seen a couple here. It's cringe. Cringe. The Irving, Texas-based company has long maintained that climate change risks are real and it wanted to be part of any solution. Yeah, not really. No. You do acknowledge they're real. There's been reports that you've hidden and silenced for decades at this point, but you don't want to be part of any solution. No, that's just not the case. That is a flat-out lie. That is a flat-out lie. During oral arguments in March 9th, the Massachusetts case, the Massachusetts Supreme Court the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court, that's the state's highest court, appeared cool to Exxon's claim that Healy was illegally stifling its speech. The case is ExxonMobil versus Healy et al. Second U.S. Court of Appeals, number 18-1170. All right, folks.
Evil. I'm proud of the fact that I don't have.
Here's a good meme.
I'm proud of the fact that I don't have to play games. I don't have to sit here and do the typical schmaltzy Christian thing. Oh, let's pray for Ukraine and evil Hitler, Putin, and let's pray. No, I don't trust the game that America plays. I think Putin is doing what's in the best interest of Russia. I think he's playing this game very smart. I'm not sure that all of these sanctions that we
I wonder who else called Putin very smart.
think are going to take him down are going to do any more to him than the sanctions on Iran. I think we've been incompetent. I think Biden is dangerous, and I think this entire Democratic Party is a judgment from God on America because we've offended Almighty God. And I say that sincerely. We've offended the God that blessed.
Oh man, how did they do it, folks? How do they say this with a straight face? Ah, yes, the Democratic Party is a judgment from God on America. because they're the ones that got elected. What? What a good meme.
This country. We've offended his name. We've offended his laws. We've offended his presence. We have to literally, this government's virtually hostile to pastors, threatening them, locking them up.
Can you give us an example? Here's another question. If it is true, that we have, quote, offended God or whatever, explain to me how we did that. Because from what I understand, wasn't the Republican Party the one that was running things last time? So wouldn't it then stand to reason that they're the ones that offended God, and that's why we're experiencing the experiencing the wrath of God? Wouldn't it then stand to... You see, like, these people, like, the moment you, like, insinuate any notion of any type of personal responsibility, these people just, like, can't... It's just not in their vernacular.
And when you do that, you make yourself an enemy of God, and God doesn't bless your government. That doesn't mean he curses your nation. It becomes an interesting thing. Now we have to have God remove the corrupt government. And to do that, we have to have the courage to see that our battle is more than midterm elections for Republicans, as though that's going to bring God back on our side. We have offended the Almighty, and we need the blessing of God, and that's going to come when we humble ourselves. And I think that Christians are confused. They're confused about how to deal with it.
No, I think they're cringe. We need to tax the churches, true.
Their enemies. Let me go back to Biden for a second.
Yes, please, tell us.
This nut job, I probably shouldn't speak evil of the ruler of the people this way.
But I'm going to do it anyways. Okay, go on.
But I'm betwixt and between how to deal with him, because that he is evil. And I think that there's room in the Bible to rebuke an evil ruler.
Lance is not getting back in. What? Who's Lance? Oh my god. Yeah, we've offended God, but not the way he's talking about destroying the earth with fossil fuels and greed. Yeah, exactly. Like, if we just kind of like indulge this mind frame, just for a split second, indulge this like delusion, right? We just enter the delusion ourselves, right? We plug ourselves into the matrix for a second. And believe that we have offended God. And believe that we have offended God. Who was running things to offend God in the first place before the Biden administration was elected? Who offended God in the first? Like, anything that involves any type of personal responsibility to kind of have an introspection and reflect, like, maybe we did F things up. It's just not there. It's just they're incapable of doing that. Why are pastors and churches so heavily involved in politics? True. Trump is not getting back in. I don't know. If he runs, folks, if he runs and the Democratic Party is going to just rerun Biden and Harris because they have no other choice, or they just are incapable of coming up with an actual, like, good, legitimate candidate. I think Trump might actually win. I really do think that Trump might actually win. A Biden versus Trump rerun number 2, Electric Boogaloo. It might actually go the other way. So I'm very concerned about that. I'm very concerned about that. Especially with the fact that they've been laying the groundwork for a much more effective strategy. Laying the groundwork for a much more effective strategy, which includes making sure that you capture Secretary of State positions, capture local, city, and state positions. This time around, they're a little bit more prepared and tiny bit more cohesive. And, yeah, not good.
Star Wars is for boys. Star Wars is for boys!
Shut the fuck up.
And we want to see white guys in Star Wars.
Shut up.
It's because, you know, when you watch these movies, you got to think, like, who is this for? Who is this girl power shit for? Girls are not watching Star Wars. Star Wars is not for girls.
Shut the fuck up. Absolute fucking clown.
It's an action movie for boys. Boys want to be Jedi, not girls. So give us Anakin, give us Obi-Wan, give us what we want.
Isn't Obi-Wan Kenobi getting his an entire series for himself? What are you talking about? Oh, Obi-Wan is literally getting his entire... with Ian McGregor. With the original guy. What are you talking about? Who is this crazy? A neo-Nazi. Call me crazy, but I think if Trump wins, we're in the end times. Oh, I think we already kicked that one off a while ago, my friend.
Okay? We do not want a girl Tusken Raider. I would never buy an action figure, a Hasbro action figure.
Bro, nobody's asking you to buy a Hasbro action figure. What? How does this guy have an audience?
Figure for the girl Tusken Raider. In Attack of the Clones, the Tusken Raider women were like breeding slaves, okay?
Oh, that's right, because that's what women, hey, I got you now. I got the message. Thank you, Mr. Fuentes. I got the message. Women are just birthing slaves. Gotcha. That's what it is.
Attack of the Clones, when Anakin went out to the Tusken Raider camp to rescue his mom, the women had like a backpack for their children. They were concubines. They were not badass warriors. Oh, but this Tusken Raider tribe was woke. They're not violent. They are just peaceful. They're indigenous, and they're you know, a matriarchy apparently.
Tusken Raiders are indigenous to Tatooine, I think. What?
Just give us Anakin and Obi-Wan. That's what we want. We do not want
Shut up.
Reyes. We do not want SZA and freaking Cardi B, Sith Inquisitor.
What? Cardi B is in Star Wars?
So sad what they're doing to everything. I just can't stand it.
Please tell me, Nick. Who's they? Can you elaborate on that? Mr. Fuentes, who's they?
Even in Batman, Catwoman's black. Gordon's black.
What? Bro, Catwoman has been played by a black actress numerous of times. What are you talking about? This was like a thing even back then. Didn't Halle Berry play Catwoman and nobody gave a shit? And that was decades ago, wasn't it?
The mayor is black. And she's black. She's
Oh,
not
no.
she's not light skinned. I mean, she's black. And she's a badass. It's like, really, man?
Yeah, really.
Really? Black people are just freaking angels, I guess.
What?
I'm so sick of it.
This is indistinguishable from the quartering. Like, these are, like, this is indistinguishable from the quartering's, like, content. When it comes to talking about media. This is literally indistinguishable from the quartering when he talks about media and how he's, like, crying about how everything's, like, destroyed.
I'm going to tell you right now, David, when I'm elected, I am going to help formulate and re-energize a committee called HUAC. HUAC is the House. I'm going to tell you right now, David, when I'm elected, I am going to help formulate.
South Carolina, pay attention. This guy's running.
I'm going to tell you right now, David, when I'm elected, I am going to help formulate and re-energize a committee called HUAC. HUAC is the House of Un-American Activities Committee. This is a committee. It is not a new committee. It was a committee that was during the time that existed in the 40s and the 50s, but it's a committee that its sole purpose is to identify Americans, media, elected officials who are doing un-American activities and to hold them for treason.
Oh, and what are un-American activities? Huh, that's interesting. Something that was done in the 40s and 50s. Alia with the 10 biddies. Eartha Kitt played Catwoman in the third season of ABC's Batman in 1968. Wow. Let's take a look about HUAC, which this candidate for Congress is suggesting to bring back. The United States government, so the United States, after the World War II, the US and Soviet Union found themselves on opposite sides of a Cold War which pitted the democratic state against the communist Soviet Union. As the Cold War intensified, the frenzied over perceived threat posed by communists in the US became known as the Red Scare. The US government responded by creating the House of Un-American Activities, Jesus Christ, HUAC, which was charged with identifying communist threats to the US. HUAC often pressured witnesses to surrender names and other information that could lead to the apprehension of communists and communist sympathizers. Committee members branded witnesses as red if they refused to comply or hesitated in answering committee questions. Damn! In an effort to stomp out, God damn! In an effort to stamp out communism, they need to resort to very, very democratic methods such as interrogations and government investigations of citizens. You literally can't make this up, folks. Is Zelensky or just propaganda? McCarthyism is accusations. I think it's like all flowing into the same era, right? It's all flowing into the same thing. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Damn, HelloFresh is funding the leftist revolution now. True. Damn. I guess under HUAC, they need to be investigated for being communist sympathizers, I guess. Because again, we don't know what communism means. Communism probably means anything like socialized healthcare or something. That's what they think communism means. That is so scary. That is so scary. On their version of the 1940s and 50s, Dems and independents should follow their political leanings even if it's left. I don't want MAGA bigger. Well, MAGA is the Republican Party. Is the Red Scare just propaganda? Well, it's all intertwined. I thought witch hunts are bad, aren't they? I seem to remember a recent president of the US saying they're bad. Right. Political witch hunts are very bad for this country and are very divisive for this country. But also we need to engage in political witch hunts because we need to bring back a 40s and 50s era House of Un-American Activities Committees. Like, what the hell does that even mean? What is un-American? The most American thing that allegedly you could be is by being able to say whatever the heck you want, espouse any ideology, like, in terms of, like, what is allowed within limits. With obviously within the bounds of the law. If I want to sit here and talk about, communism all day, I have the absolute right to do so. If I want to talk about whatever values I like on this platform, as long as it follows TOS, as long as it follows, the law, I should be allowed to say and, run my show the way I want. Breaking news, there has been a 7.2 earthquake off the shore of Japan near Fukushima. Yikes. Damn, you both just got to that in the same way. Until someone grabs the reins of the Republican Party, it's de facto MAGA. True.
Here in America. I'm going to tell you right.
Yeah. And he's a pastor too. He's a pastor. This should terrify anybody listening. Anybody who's in South Carolina that's within this district, congressional district for, this is the 4th congressional district for South Carolina. If you live in this area or or knows people in this area, this guy should be nowhere near any lever of power whatsoever. At all. Like, this guy shouldn't even be within a galaxy. He shouldn't be within a galaxy of power. Like, he shouldn't be within a galaxy lengths of power at all. This guy should be nowhere near it. Grandpa fled in exile in Greece because He was an anarcho-communist. Great stories of mutiny on high seas and more. Jeez. Yeah, this guy shouldn't be within a galaxy's length of power at all. And by the way, this guy's running as a Republican, of course, and he's on a segment on a channel, I guess, that says "Real America's Voice." Real America. Interesting. I think I've made my case through significant amount of example after example after example after example of how when they talk about freedom, they kind of mean the other thing. When they talk about free speech, they kind of mean the other thing. When they talk about democracy, they kind of mean the other thing. That's right.
I'm proud of the fact that I do.
Jesus, scared me. Anyways, that was a good meme. Yeah, good memes. HUAC was created in 1938 to investigate alleged disloyalty and rebel activities on the part of private citizens, public employees, and organizations suspected of having, quote, communist ties. Citizens, I would like to re-emphasize that, suspected of having ties to the Communist Party would be tried in a court of law. Also, during this time, Senator Joseph McCarthy began a campaign against alleged communists in the U.S. government and other institutions. From 1950 to 1954, McCarthyism was described as a practice of accusing federal government employees of having affiliations with communism and leaking information. No, I say that in a sarcastic tone. These are not, like, actual memes. This is very serious. So yeah, this is what this guy wants to bring back. It sounds all funny until you're the one being investigated for, I don't know, alleged ties to communism. Simple people and simple solutions see nothing, and nothing is more simple than one voice leading and no one is allowed to oppose that voice. Yeah, that's right, freedom. It's still bad to believe communism is good in America. True. What was once normal can be made normal again. This is not an off table. As something that could come back. Yep. Right now in USA, power doesn't need who act and can do freely what they want. Not 100%, right? Not 100%. If you have a dedicated committee that can focus on investigating private citizens and their ties to the certain political ideologies, that is a whole other ballpark, right? We don't really have like a dedicated like committee for that, to my understanding. We are so free. We are so free that we're only allowed to express ideologies that are approved. Ratcliffe is on a plane out of Iran. Who is that? Born happy U.S. citizen exists at CIA. Yeah, but it's a little bit. It's not a dedicated agency to necessarily snuff out communism. Those are broad surveillance. You know, you're describing the broad surveillance state that already exists, that was uncovered by Snowden that you were referring to. It's not like a targeted, oh, we're going to only, we're going to only targeted, X ideology or anything like that. No, it's a broad surveillance state to monitor basically any anti-government extremist position or anything really that they want to, because they have broad, almost unchecked powers. When did you get this new sponsor for your meals? What is this, communism? True. Alright, folks. That being said, we do gotta talk about this month's sponsor. Folks, if you have seen the intermediate chat bot timers, this month's sponsor is HelloFresh. I appreciate that from Stream Elements to give us that opportunity for HelloFresh. I personally have used HelloFresh myself for a while during this pandemic. It is interesting, and if you're interested in getting these type of meal preps, there are veggie options, there are pescatarian options, and it gets delivered right to your door. If you guys want, click the link in that chat bot. Click the link that's already in the channel panels. Use POG SE2534 to get up to 16 free meals, 3 surprise gifts across the 6 HelloFresh boxes, and you know what's cool? Even if you don't continue the membership, that's okay. Even if you don't continue it, you know why? Because you can keep the recipes. You can keep the recipes and then do it on your own afterwards. That's what I did. I have a whole bunch of recipes that I can now go back to should I want it. I already used another meal service. Sorry, I always get that gluten-free option because they're good. True. My personal experience with HelloFresh has been mostly positive, and it's been very, very easy. It's been very easy to use. So, hey, I appreciate that, and please consider supporting the stream by supporting HelloFresh. Oh, stream elements. That's why I'm seeing HelloFresh in many channels. True. It's a very generous offer for small streamers, especially like ourselves, you know? The best application and further development of communism works now in China, part ideology, part... I'm not sold on that. The problem is ideology, right? You don't want to get wrapped into ideology and make that your dogma, yeah? That's how weird stuff starts to happen. That's how weird stuff starts to happen. Alright folks, again, thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for all the new follows and the subscriptions. You guys are what makes this channel grow. And again, please consider checking out our sponsor. And, well, on that note, I guess, while we're on the shilling note, please make sure you head on over to the YouTube channel, click that subscribe button. It takes 5 seconds, I promise. It takes 5 seconds, I promise, and it does help us out. If you guys need that sponsor link, just click HelloFresh. It's right there. I'm just very skeptical when it comes to just building off ideology without any type of like practicality, because then you just have dogma, right? And like, square that circle. So we're supposed to advance communism by allowing and perpetuating capitalism? That's a bit weird. Square that circle for me. In my opinion, you have to build the structures. You have to build parallel structures of power in order to show people that it works, right? Mutual aid would be a good example if you have that ability. Oh boy. That's, yikes. Stockholm Syndrome. If I've ever seen it. Capitalism hasn't failed us yet. No. It's just directly linked to the destruction of our entire planet. It's creating massive inequalities. It is concentrating wealth and power into fewer and fewer hands. But yeah, it's the, okay. Let's just make everyone poor and... Let's just make everyone poor and hungry under socialism. Great idea. I have a feeling you have no idea what capitalism is or socialism. Ah, yes. The bastion. The bastion of socialism. Irked with a tier 1 subscription for 8 months. Nice. I will not HelloFresh, but this will sub. Nice, thank you. Guys, we should just keep on, we should just keep on going where we're going, right? We should continue this, unsustainable, concentration of wealth. We should continue the degradation of our ecosystems. We should continue to poison our air and our water. We should continue destroying our lands. Because it makes a couple people more richer. Most rich people didn't now start rich. They worked for it. Can you name one, please? most wealth is derived from generational wealth, either by someone, you know, having dad and mommy, or coming into some you know, Elon Musk. Oh yeah. Hey guys, that's a great one. Oh man, this is a meme. This is a parody. Is this real life? This is a parody. This is an absolute parody. So Elon Musk worked by himself. It had nothing to do with they are with their parents being like emerald you know, mine owners, who to be owners you have to have capital to even get to the point where you are this rich. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is Stockholm Syndrome in real time. I am blown away. I'm actually blown away. Tell me, you support capitalism. Are you like a capitalist? Do you own like the means of production? Do you own your means of production? Like, do you have a business where you're the authoritarian autocrat leader on top of the business, and you know, you have a top-down management? Are you a capitalist? You see, like, this is all very weird, because like the people who support capitalism have no idea what it really is. They just have this blind ideological... Oh, so you're not a capitalist. Okay, so you're not a capitalist. Gotcha. You're a worker. Why do you support someone who basically, as you mentioned, takes your hard work and exploits you? Why would you support that? Why would you support a system that exploits your hard work to get to where you are? Shouldn't you be the one that reaps the benefits of your production? That seems kind of weird. Seems kind of Stockholm Syndrome. Right? Like if your hard work which makes you a worker, not a capitalist. You're making money for them. You're making money for them. Why are you standing them? Shouldn't you be the one who reaps the benefits of your work, the full benefits of your work? Because guaranteed, despite you making plenty of money, that means they're shaving off a good chunk of it. Shouldn't you be the one who owns that? Shouldn't you be the one who owns that production? If you're the one that's producing, if you're the one that has all that, you know, blood, sweat, and hard work, shouldn't you be the one that then owns that labor? Owns the fruit of that labor? Yeah, my boss works. Oh yeah, I'm sure he works very, very hard. I'm sure he does. Yeah, I'm sure he does. He works just like Elon Musk works so hard. Poor thing. Listen, you will never be your boss, and you will never be Elon Musk. So the fact that like standing these folks is pretty weird. Well, I didn't create the business, so why should I get all the money? And how does the business make money? Who makes the labor to make the business money? It's you, buddy. You're the worker. Guaranteed, the business is making money off your labor. Guaranteed. Because if not, what's the point of having you there? Anyways, you're a worker with Stockholm Syndrome, okay? You shouldn't stand a system that doesn't care about you. You shouldn't stand a system where you don't reap the fruits of your own labor. If you're producing labor for a company, you're making the money. That's how that works. I don't know if you've ever had like some type of inkling of like basic economics and how like businesses run and how profit is made. But yeah, there's no need to name call. I've been nothing but civil. Oh yeah. No. This is some civility politics. Really, from an account from what, like less than a month ago. Yeah, this is nothing but civility politics. Tone policing. What names did I call you? I mean, I can call you names. Anyways, you came in here saying just like absolutely factually incorrect things. Your purpose seems to be to troll here. And that's okay. Imagine like I'm still trying to like wrap my head around the idea that Elon Musk worked for it. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that idea. If I could work at a co-op, anyone who disagrees with leftists is called a troll. What? I'm not calling you a troll because you disagree with me. I'm calling you a troll because like these are like basic NPC talking points that are just regurgitated. Like I feel like I've had this conversation with other people in the exact same fashion. It's like there's no new ideas here. I honestly think people just don't understand that they're being effed. Yeah, it's like Stockholm Syndrome. That's what I'm saying. Ooh, that's a pivot. If you don't like socialism so much, so go to a socialist country. No, I want to make this place better. I live here. Yeah, never heard that one before. Like I said, it's like I'm arguing with like a low a low dialogue tree, a low level dialogue tree. You couldn't fight your way. Look, what kind of clown level is this? This has to be a troll. This has to be a troll. You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag, bub. Okay. First, the civility politics. First, the civility, the tone policing. First, the tone policing of like, guys, anyone who disagrees with leftists just control. It's your only comeback, guys. I'm just here to have like a discussion. There's no need to name call. I've been nothing but civil, guys. But also, you couldn't fight your way out of a paper bag, bub. Absolute clown. Wait, so your boss is the one that's driving the truck or you? So who's producing the labor? You are. You don't understand capitalism and you don't understand socialism. Wait, I have one final question. Because this is just too good. This is just too good. This has to be a bit. Although there are people who unironically think this way, but anyways, really quickly before we sign off, you just have a hate boner for the rich. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You're power hungry and you want the power. The analogy of the whole bootstraps argument is because it's to demonstrate that it's literally impossible. Like you're dishing out the classic memes, my friend. The classic NPC memes that just keep getting regurgitated. Like the same dialogue tree over and over and over again. I feel like I'm talking to an NPC character on Skyrim who just says the same 5 things over and over again. Holy shit, this is so unoriginal. Oh yeah, last question before we sign off. Do you know what socialism is? It's where workers owns the means of production. Okay. So how does that... That's very weird because you said that everyone was going to be poor and starving? How does that fit into the workers actually having a decision within their workplace and having a more democratic system within the workplace where they get to actually reap the benefits of what they do? It's their labor. Shouldn't they be the ones reaping that? That's weird because earlier you were also saying how you were so hardworking. I could say the same thing about capitalism. That's a real non-answer though. I could say the same thing about capitalism. Capitalism sounds great on paper. There's a free market where everyone has an equal access to opportunity. There are private ownership of the means of production, which will then equal to more efficient distributions of goods because of the market. But on reality, it doesn't really work that way, does it? It always turns into monopolies and yeah. No, I have not seen that. It's been great talking about. We can agree to disagree. I hope you have a blessed day. Yeah, just think about that for a sec, all right? Why do you stand systems that have nothing to do with you? And why do you hate systems that you have a very weird opinion about? Even though you seem to kind of understand that it means that the workers themselves own the means of production? Sounds weird. Anyways, folks, it is 11:30. Have you heard the shooting of the woman by the cops yet? Asian woman with a knife? Yeah, I have no idea. I might have to check that out at some point. That being said, folks, I do want to thank you for hanging out today. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you hit that follow button. Thank you, spread it forward. I appreciate that. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. Alright, folks, hang tight. Hang tight, folks. Alright, folks, we're gonna head out in just a second. See ya. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for all the subscriptions. I appreciate that. Alright, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.